Hello everybody, this is Gregory with How I Lost Over 100 Pounds and I've kept it off for 30 plus years, where there should be no hesitation in your weight loss and your weight maintenance. Today we're going to talk about why Europeans aren't fat. Now before we begin, if you need help with weight loss, contact me through the Clarity FM link found here in the episode notes. Also check out my books, my website, and if you appreciate my content, there is a link for PayPal. Alright, so behind me is Florence. I'm at the Piazza di Michelangelo, which is on the other side of the Arno River, which you can see in the background. And it's at a bluff, so you can see the entire town. You might be able to say the Piazza, which is the large dome behind me. It's hard for me to tell because the sun is right in my face. But this is one of the most dramatic vistas of Florence, Italy. So clearly, being in Europe, and this is my 7th time that I've been here, you can really juxtapose Americans from Europeans. And we know the statistics, and I've talked about the statistics here. 70% of Americans are overweight and 40% are obese. And so you ask the question as to why this is and whether or not other cultures are this bad. And yes, other cultures are becoming more overweight for sure. Now, there's various differences as to why this is. If you look like the Asians, the Japanese, for example, were always known to be the most fit people because they eat a lot of fish, they eat a little seaweed, they eat a lot of rice. But more importantly, what the Japanese have in common with the Europeans is that their food is cleaner. And what also those two cultures have in common that the typical suburban American has lost is movement. So when you combine the quality of food and the lack of quality of food in the standard American diet, and you exacerbate that with lack of movement, you get obesity. So why are we more obese in America? Well, we have obesogenic ingredients that they don't have. For example, monosodium glutamate is banned by the EU. They don't have that. High fructose corn syrup is largely not used in the European Union. So their sodas aren't going to have high fructose corn syrup. We have a video here on high fructose corn syrup. It's a known fat maker. So those are just two of many ingredients, which Whole Foods, to be fair in America, Whole Foods has banned these items in their restaurants or in their grocery stores, so they won't sell any of these ingredients over there. So you look at the European Union has much stricter regulations as to what they allow to be put in their food. Now that being said, they smoke up a chimney over here, but I guess they're so addicted to the nicotine they can't help it, but at least they can clean their food. So their food is cleaner. But the other big thing is that the Europeans just walk more. They walk more. Yes, the bigger cities are going to have public transportation, but they walk everywhere. And so they're just more active. So even though if you look at the greater percentage of Europeans don't belong to gyms, but they tend to be in better shape. The typical European is in better shape than the typical American. I've mentioned it before in a past video how my family is from Mexico and my aunts and uncles would come and visit us in the States back in the 80s and 90s. And the first thing that they would say is, why are other Americans so fat? Because when you go to Europe, for example, you just don't really see it. You don't really see it, but in America it's pervasive. Now, that being said, it has caught up in Europe because we have brought fast food here. We have brought the garbage food here, which has now made them overweight. China is the same thing. China used to have very healthy population, and now they're becoming more overweight. So as we ship the standard American diet to the world, they're getting more overweight. But in general, if you go to Europe, they're just not going to be as overweight as they are over here. So in closing, what can we do as Americans? Well, move the body, shock the body. Talk about that, whether it be gym, whether it be walking, whether it be wherever you live, move the body, move the body. And even though we don't have, because the FDA is super corrupt, we can't get these obesogens out of our diet per se. You can day in, day out get rid of these obesogens in your diet, but just not choosing to eat foods that have high fructose corn syrup and industrial grade vegetable oils and tons of stuff like that. So if you eat kind of a modified paleo diet, you can avoid a lot of these things. And then essentially your diet's going to be much more European, Mediterranean style in particular, which is known as always rated to be the best diet to be. And then you're moving the body, so you're almost living like a European. Guys, post in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Hit the notification, subscribe, and share button. Until next time, take care. God bless and pray.